All right, so we're gonna go take some pictures. It's picture day for this car. So one of the questions that was asked to me was, how easy is it to open a dealership, and how easy is it to run/operate a dealership? So when you feel like you want to open a dealership and it's something that you're looking into, there's a lot of steps that go along with opening said dealership. You have to go through a pretty rigorous background check. Mine took, it was like 45 days to come back. I was blown away that it was taking so long, because I don't have a criminal history. I have speeding tickets. But that's it. So I was a little shocked that it took so long. But then on the flip side, I know somebody who got theirs back in 15 days. So they look at a lot of things. Every place that you lived, they look at all your speeding tickets, your education, they look at everything. So chopping down trees. So there's that. So it's called your live scan. You have to get a dealer bond. So that varies, I think, based on your credit, and I think that's it. And then you have to go through your checklist. And all I remember is your dealer checklist in order to open. And all I remember is I spent probably about a month running around every day. Over here, over there. Downtown San Diego, and then North County. And then so it was a little involved. But then also, one of the things that you have to take into consideration as well as you're doing that checklist, whoa lady, you have to think about, okay, so what kind of cars do I want to carry? What am I passionate about? If you're passionate about money and that's all that you want out of owning a dealership, it's not the right business for you. Don't do it, because you will be a very grumpy soul. So who's gonna fix your cars? Who's gonna detail your cars? Who's gonna do paint correction? Who are you gonna use to get tires from? So let's say you get European cars and one day you get in an American car. So who are you gonna get the parts for your American cars? Surely you're not gonna wanna go pay full retail, because that's stupid. So you have to think about these things. And for me, things just happened to fall in order for me. So I had already been in contact and used a mechanic. He is a fantastic mechanic, one of the best mechanics I have ever come across. He is resourceful. If something doesn't need fixed and it's it can, for instance, let's say we puncture the oil pan on a Lincoln LS. Well, they don't make that oil pan anymore, so they're really hard to find because everybody punctures them. So this guy actually welded it back closed, refinished it, painted it, and it looked like it was brand new. And I was blown away because it didn't occur to me that you could even think to do something like that. I don't know. And this is when I was first in the business. So then you also have to think about, oh, I should have taken that sticker off. Shit. I'll take it off when we get there. Oh, so then your detail guy, I got really lucky with that too. I had this guy, Gerald, who did the tint work on one of my cars. I just showed up one day and said, hey, I'm thinking about opening up a dealership. You want to kind of partner together for tint work and, you know, to make the cars look special? And he was game. So that made me really happy because Gerald is very particular, and he all of his detail work is flawless. And I mean, there's always going to be hiccups, bumps in the road. I get it. So, and he's over at MVP Auto Salon. So he has always done my he's always done my detail work, and I will continue to use him to do my detail work because he's amazing. So then we go to, who you going to have do your paint work? Well, that was a tough one for me. I know very little about paint. I know about tonality. I know about finish. I know, you know, what a 3-stage paint job is compared to a 1-stage. Like, I'm aware. But application, at first, even what it should look like after it's refinished, how soon I could wax the car or polish the car, I was unaware of. So I was looking for somebody who could help educate me and show me what I can do, what to look for, and how to go about remedying situations. And I ran into this, and I smile, and she's probably going to see this and smile as well, but I ran into this woman. Her name is Catherine, and she was amazing for me at first. She supported me. She supported my business. She helped me with how to identify what should be fixed, how we can fix it, if there's ways to fix it without actually, like, let's say replacing a bumper. Sometimes you can heat it up and it can kind of go back together, kind of sort of glued back together. And it will be fine for the rest of its life, but there are also times where, yeah, you know, you should probably replace the bumper. And her input was crucial education for me. So then you go to, okay, so who's going to supply your parts? Well, at first I just opened up wholesale accounts at the dealers, and I do still use the dealership a lot of the time. Oh, I love the 300M. So I went to the dealers. I still use the dealers. I still get like A-pillars for A-pillar covers for BMWs at the dealerships. I still go through them to get I get an awful lot of wood trim pieces for Mercedes at the dealership. I get Mercedes-Benz transmission filters and like their whole filter kit. Every once in a while, I'll get Mercedes-Benz spark plugs. I don't know why, there's just something a little different about them. I get Mercedes-Benz batteries. They're really good. But for the most part, for your just run-of-the-mill things, your oil, your stuff like that you will need, most dealers can probably just go to AutoZone and you can order your stuff there. I started getting a little concerned with one of the mechanics that I was using. It's not the guy that I had already talked about, it was a different one, about him charging me and pretty much bending me over the barrel. So I went and I got the account at a wholesale supply shop, just to cover my bases, make sure he's not overcharging me. And then I started having issues with him and the other mechanic. There was a few bumps in the road, and I just decided, why can't I just do the work myself? And that's how that started. I just started doing the work. I ordered a toolkit and I did it. So then you have to go to, okay, so who is going to supply your tires? Tires are expensive. And I like a specific type of tire, so you have to go and build a relationship, and this takes time because you're going to pay about retail, maybe a little bit less than retail at first, but when that and I'm really loyal to my vendor reps. So my first rep, Eddie, my tire guy, he was amazing. He and I hit it off right away. He got my mind frame. He got where I was at. He got what I wanted for my cars, and so I was able to build that relationship quickly, and that's key in this business, building your relationship. That's what you want to do, always. Find somebody and build that relationship, and don't bitch about the cost of things because they fucking hate that. So just take it as it comes at first, build the relationship until they start seeing you on a regular basis, and hey man, how's it going? Oh, I have to order parts for this fucking Mercedes again. And then they're gonna say, oh, it's being a pill again, right? Yes. Well, let me give you a little bit more of a discount this time. So it's all about relationships. And I'll never do it again. But so you have to think about what kind of cars you want to carry, and some of this stuff is just trial and error. So I learned at that point, okay, no more Discoveries. None. Ever. No way. No. And the Touareg eventually became that same, again, here we go. The Touareg eventually was the same way. Nope, no more Touaregs, not doing that again. Nope. And from there, I was able to kind of grow. Then, after you think about, okay, so I want to carry European cars, I want to use these vendors, or these people, so I'm going to use, Tom, Dick, and Joe. And then it goes to, how do you plan on getting your cars? Where are you going to get your cars from? Are you going to buy them on Craigslist? That's an option. You can do that. And I know people who do that really effectively. And actually, I know a few people who will buy cars on Craigslist and then fly out to go get them. And they love doing that. And I can understand why that's so appealing, because then you're always traveling. You are every time you go pick up a car, it's an adventure. But then also you have to think about, well, if you're going to do that, then who's going to be at the dealership selling cars while you're gone? Are you going to have an employee? Because that comes to a whole nother bag of can of worms. So also, okay, so there's also auctions. You can buy cars at the auctions. I usually get most of my cars at the auctions. You can use wholesalers. There are specific people who are wholesale dealers that will find cars for you and or have an inventory. Some of them have a lot of inventory, so that's an option as well. And then you also have to, so from there, okay, so now you know what vendors you're going to use, you know what kind of cars you're going to carry, you know where you're going to buy your cars, but now we have to think about customers. Okay, so what type of customer are you wanting to appeal to? Well, for me, European cars, every brand has a very particular customer, so I have to make sure that I appeal to all of them. And but all of them share one thing in common, and that is that they are all exacting, meaning they all know exactly what they want. So so there we are. We have our plan, right? We know what vendors we're using. We know what kind of cars we're going to carry. We know where we're going to get our cars. We know what we're going to what we're going to use for our financing if we're going to do it. And so where do you plan on advertising your cars? This is all stuff you have to work out, and you have to also think about. So there's other things that you have to think about with that. But so let's say okay, so all of those advertising companies, they charge you to do that advertising. So that's going to eat away at your profit. So now we're looking at your overhead. So what's your overhead going to be? How many cars do you have to sell in order to break even? You want to keep it as low as possible, but also within reason. So a lot of these advertising companies will charge you a lot of money. So I think one of them, when I first opened my dealership, it was like $350, and it was like the top tier. So you got like first priority on the list when someone searches for that particular car. However, so about 3 or 4 years into me owning the business, they decided that they were going to up their fees to market value. Well, it doubled. It went to $700 a month, and I said, fuck that. No way. No, absolutely not. So, and that's for one company. There's many different companies that have those services. So I think actually at one point I was running 3. So then there's also Yelp. Well, Yelp is pay to play. Sorry about it, but it's pay to play. You have to pay them in order to get the top listings when someone searches for a car dealership in San Diego County, for your business to show up. It's not based on the stars. It's based on who pays how much, which is bullshit. Yelp should be a free service, but it's absolutely 100,000,000% not. So, and they make a lot of money, because I think when I had Yelp for my dealership, I was paying $600 a month. $600 just for the searches and also the updated Google. That's stupid. And so with that kind of stuff, it just eats away at your profits, and it just kind of digs in your pocket, and the cars that you don't think. So Pontiac Grand Ams, Grand Am GTs, actually. The weirdest thing on the face of the earth is a Pontiac Grand Am GT that sells before it even gets there to the dealership. And it happened 4 times. Every time I got a Grand Am. I don't understand it, me personally, but okay. Also, the Pontiac Grand Prix. Weird, but the W-framed Grand Prix gave me quite a few gut punches. Transmission went out, power steering pumps go out, water pumps go out, radiators crack, but it just one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. And none of this shit is expensive. Of course, it's a Pontiac. Like the bits and pieces are a dime. They don't cost anything, but they are numerous. And in order to replace these items well, so that the customer has a good car, you have to get upgraded items. And there's actually a company that I use. It's called ZZ Performance, I think is what it's called. And all that they carry is upgraded parts for General Motors cars, and some of the more desirable ones. So I would get the HD differential for the Grand Prix. I would get the whole shift kit. I would get all kinds of stuff for them because it ended up costing about the same as if I was going to do the same thing on a BMW. So it didn't really matter all that much to me. But what did matter is the fact that the customer was not going to have that same problem that I just replaced, because Grand Prix are known for, you replace the that stuff on the let's say the radiator, and in a few years they're replacing it again. Well, that's pointless. So I would just get the aluminum radiator, the 2-inch radiator opposed to the 1/4-inch radiator, and just be done with it. But anyways, we're here at the beach to take pictures of this 300M. I hope that you enjoyed this video. There's a few more question videos that I had proposed to me. If this video is well received, I might make more. If you have questions, please comment below. I will add them to the list and go back over them. But all in all, I enjoy being a dealer. But I also really enjoy my cars that I buy. So you have to enjoy what you do in life, and if you're doing it just for money, it's not going to work for you. You need to have a passion for it and a passion for the cars that you carry. So I hope that everybody is staying safe. I hope that if you are looking to open up your own dealership, then I hope that this helped you some. And again, if anyone has any questions, comment below and I will do my best